Go.
Hi guys, Henry here,
And this is Johnny Noise, your favorite punk rock brother man. And welcome
and
to
we're welcome to the
the Inertia
Inertia
Channel.
Channel. Today we have a very special guest with
I think you
us.
froze up a
I'm
little bit.
proud to have, or we are proud to have, Mr. Jason Virus with us. How you doing, Jason?
Welcome to the show, Jason.
Hey, doing
All
good.
right.
All right. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. So, Jason, you're pretty much known as a singer in Sugar Virus, and you've worked with John Christ. Who are your influences for that vocally?
Uh, well, I grew up riding around listening to like Billy Milano from MOD, uh, of course Glenn, Sam Hain, Misfits. Um let's see, Minor Threat, old school punk rock, uh, uh, Black Sabbath, a lot of Southern rock as well. I'm down here in the South, so there's a lot of uh, Leonard Skinner stuff. It's weird. It's a wide variety of different things that kind of got saturated my brain with different types of styles. Of course, Elvis Presley as well. Elvis is big down here. Um, honky tonk. My dad was in honky tonk music. Um, yeah, as far as vocal influences, a lot of the earlier '70s stuff kind of reached my brain. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, really,
Was it?
I could name tons of other bands, but I mean,
Yeah,
you're riding around the car listening to Minor Threat and Embrace and all that stuff, and Sam Hain stuff. I was listening to Sam Hain stuff before I was listening to Misfit stuff. Then Nancy came later. Always big MOD fan, or Billy Milano, and then you've got SOD and then a lot of the hardcore scene stuff. Um, I don't know. My vocal range kind of goes it hits around that area. So
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I just picked up on SOD's. It's Speak English or Die, but it's some kind of anniversary edition where it's silver and it's like over a million copies sold or something. It says on there, but it's still the same album. It's just got a couple of bonus tracks on there. But yeah, man, Billy Milano, he's something else with MOD as well.
yeah, and I just recently when I talked to Ian about with the bass player from SOD and Anthrax and all that, when he told me that actually SOD was first, and then uh, Billy did the whole MOD thing afterwards. I wasn't aware of that because I heard MOD before I was introduced to SOD.
Yeah,
So to me, it was kind of backwards. And when I approached him with questions, I was coming from the wrong direction. Sometimes you have things you don't really look at the years things came out. You're just kind of like, oh, okay. And I think the SOD album, unless I'm mistaken, came out after the MOD stuff, but SOD actually came first, and then it was SOD then MOD. But
yeah, yeah, because it was SOD and then but Method of Destruction came out like I want to say maybe the next year.
possibly, yeah, you're
Uh,
probably right. I never paid attention to the years on the cassettes that I had. You just have them to
yeah,
play when you're a kid too. You don't worry about stuff like that.
awesome. Yeah, if I had to sit here and list all my influences, we'd be here till next week. So
Yeah,
yeah, I get it.
yeah,
There's a lot of influences across the music spectrum there. So
oh yeah.
that's always a good thing. That's always a
And
good
I
thing.
grew up with a
Old school
lot
punk.
of death metal too. Not you know Carcass and freaking Obituary and Deicide and all that, and they'd actually passed through quite a bit because we're in Central Georgia. A lot of those guys are from down south of Florida, so we'd see a lot of those shows would come through pretty regularly.
That's cool. That's
Before
awesome.
they're big, before they're big, they would come through. And we had
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Obituary is gonna play San Antonio pretty soon. I saw something. I saw something for their show. I was looking at tickets for something, and Obituary popped up. So, yeah, they death metal's pretty big here in San Antonio as well as punk rock thing. I was just telling John that the Subhumans played here not too long ago, and they
oh
sold out the venue.
yeah, I saw a video of that them playing down there. Yeah, pretty massive turnout.
Yep, yep. So my next question is kind of for both of you. So how did you two guys meet and start collaborating with music and stuff?
I think the first time we met was at the Danzig show in Atlanta, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Steve introduced me to you because I've known Steve for years, his cousin,
yeah.
Yeah,
and Steve introduced me, and that's before you guys started doing the morning noise stuff. If
Right.
I'm not mistaken, y'all had just
We we had just put out the album from
yeah.
Cleopatra. We haven't done
Actually, was it? Did you do the Cleopatra one? Was it the? It was the re-release, wasn't it?
yeah, that went through Cleopatra.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
one
Yeah.
the one the one that was endorsed by Danzig.
Yeah.
He wrote the forward on it, with all the pictures and stuff. Yeah, because that's when we were backstage. That's the one I was holding, taking pictures of with
Yeah. That's
everybody.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So, yeah. So Steve introduced me, and we just kind of hit it off. That's pretty much how it is. He's a guy to talk to and chit chat with. Steve is too. He's an easy guy to chit chat with and just kind of shoot the shit with. It's not a big issue or not a big deal to just have a conversation. You don't really have to talk about much. Just whatever's going on. Just
yeah, yeah.
it's not always music stuff. It's just we just talk about random stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, we've with Crimson Carry, we crashed his house, uh, but the last time him and I were talking, and I had told him that you had extended the invite the first time we just came down, and it's just Anna and myself, and we just came down to the theater to do that, and we just jumped on and did a couple songs with you, and from that point on, it was just if something was going on or whatever, if we were able to make it, we made a couple shows down there, but you had us on just to kind of jump on stage with you guys for a couple of songs, with her.
Yeah, try and get a little more exposure too, which I think helped. I think it actually got you
Yeah,
guys a bit more exposure,
yeah,
letting people listen to what you had.
right.
But I think Johnny and I talked a couple days ago actually, and I kind of put it in his head. I hope I put it in his head. Maybe he should just go ahead and do call the whatever band moving forward just Johnny Noise. That way he can kind of take his legacy with him if something happens to band members. Makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah,
Still do Crimson Carry songs. Still do whatever you want to do, but
right,
just take
right.
your name with you. That way, it doesn't work out with somebody, you can just keep on rolling, and you don't miss a beat. You don't have to keep changing
Yeah.
logos, artwork, all the stuff that goes
Oh
along
yeah.
with it.
Oh yeah.
Um,
We went through quite a few different, but we had a really good conversation with her. Our actually first interview we did. So she has some different ideas, but yeah, let's kind of see where it goes. I got some stuff too, and but yeah, you're kind of right, because once you start renaming and revamping and redoing and whatever, then if something happens, you got to start all over again. Where if you leave it be, you know, be a lot easier, to keep things kind of
Well,
rolling.
the name of the game is to stay established. So
Right.
you have your
Yeah.
brand, and you stick with your brand. Uh, you bring people into the fold that have the same vision as you, and you put projects out and do what you need to do. I have different incantations of Sugar Virus, like all the tribute stuff that we just did. I've got all sorts of people bouncing in and out of it, but it's still my band that's doing the tribute stuff. I'm still laying everything out. I'm kind of putting everything in order, saying, "Hey, I need bass player for this, guitar player for this, drummer for this." And I've got people bouncing in and out, helping me out with it. And then we've got future tribute projects we're doing too. We're going to do a Cannibal Corpse tribute album. I've got it's going to be Sugar Virus doing Cannibal Corpse, and it's going to have previous members that were in my band that can pull certain things off. I won't be singing on that, and I'll be playing either bass or guitar on that. And then I don't know, take some of their older stuff that isn't polished, like their first recordings of whatever, and kind of make them pop a little bit. I thought it'd be a cool idea. Take some stuff nobody's really listened to anymore, and just bring them
Yeah.
out and make it pop. But yeah, take your brand and just keep your name. So you can
Yeah.
keep playing, and you're also not confusing the crap out of your followers too. That's the other thing. It's like, oh, this guy was in this band, he 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 was in this band, and then nobody can find you anymore. They're wandering around going, "Remember so and
Yeah.
so used to be in that band? Man, they were awesome." Well, yeah, they're still playing. They're in this band. It's like, oh, okay.
None of this band.
So
Yeah.
it's hit or
Yeah.
miss if those people are coming with you or not. So
Yeah, I think that's how I came. I think that's how I came across John because I was telling him a long time ago before even the internet was a thing, and I don't even think there was Windows 98 yet. Um, we have this thing here in San Antonio that's called First Friday, and it's a bunch of vendors, and they sell stuff. And this one guy's booth, he had some Misfits shows on VHS, and of course they were bootleg as hell. But I bought one of them, and it was two Misfits shows and a Sam Hain show. And the Sam Hain show was I think it was filmed at the Roxy or something. It was the LA Access show,
okay,
and there was
yeah,
there,
exactly what
there
you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, it had the interview with the band at the end, and Pete Marshall was talking about. I was in Steve's other band too, Morning Noise, and I was like, Morning Noise, what's that? I gotta find that. Yeah, I gotta find out about that. And then I came across the CD a little bit later that was called Death Trip Delivery, and it said Morning Noise on it. And I had that CD for like a week, and I threw a party, and the CD grew legs, and I never saw it again. So when they did the re-release a couple of years ago, I bought that right off the bat, and I was like kind of doing a "Where Are They Now" deal, and I came across Crimson Carry, and I'm like, okay, well, there's John, and here's this singer, and she's playing the keyboard, and she's got this big booming voice, and I
Yeah.
made friends with John. Wasn't it Messenger, John?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
and we started talking, and yeah, it was pretty much. I think y'all were. I got y'all just as y'all were coming out the gate with the Crimson Carry, and I became a big fan, and me and John have been buds ever since. So yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's been an awesome ride. I
Yeah,
mean,
John's got a good personality too, man. He's a good person, so it's easy to you know it's easy to
oh
make
yeah.
a guy like that.
I,
You know,
John can call me up on the phone, and before it seems like 5 minutes, but in actuality, it'd be like 45 minutes go by. So that's always a
we
good
talk
thing.
about whatever. That's what I told him when we decided to put this together. Is that don't let me get too chatty because it'll be like a 2 hour thing, and I don't even know what I got to kind of like dial
And
it
I'm
back, let everybody have their get their 2 cents in. Otherwise, I'll start rambling on with stuff and like, just tell them to shut up. Someone wants to talk.
I'm the same way though. I'm the same way. I get long
Yeah,
winded and stuff.
yeah.
Um, so so tell me a little bit more about sugar virus.
Uh, Started back in '92. Originally, well, probably about 1991. I started writing a bunch of songs, but I was the bass player. I was actually playing bass and writing, and I had another vocalist, and or had the vocalist. He was the guy, but every practice he'd show up and he wouldn't sing. It was like, oh, my voice isn't ready today. We had an excuse every damn practice. So I got tired of it, and I put the bass in his hand, and I just started singing. I said, okay, screw this, and that's kind of how it happened. So '92, we actually started playing shows and stuff. We already had our songs written. Probably a good 2 years putting songs together before '92 actually came around, and we started kind of putting stuff out. And then we were 15, 16 years old playing in bars we shouldn't have been playing in. Um, you know how it goes. Cult following, a little bit of a cult following, like a little bit, people kind of coming out and checking you out and everything. And uh, probably more infamous, getting into trouble, fights, uh, fighting other bands, that kind of thing. More mischief than music playing at certain points, but it was, you get your name out there too. So, and we actually had the name the Fiends coming out of the gate, and then I ran to Glenn not too long after that. It was '92 going to '93, and told him about the band and everything, and he said, "Well, he said that band name's already exists. It already belongs to somebody else." And I'm like, "Oh, I've never heard it, seen anywhere." This is a time, it's not an internet wave. It's a people get their stuff out there by having zins, and then you post flyers up everywhere. So it's not like I go online and research who the hell has this and
Yeah,
that else. And so he put me in contact with Buzz from the Melvins, because apparently Buzz owns the rights to the band name, or the fucking name, the Fiends. And I talked to him, and he wouldn't give it up. So I was like, screw it. And then went through a couple identity crisis, kept trying to figure change the name to this, Fiends Carnival of Souls, just change, put some, and it's like so corny. And then I don't know, we went through a whole bunch of crap. It was like, what, screw this. And I had a song called Sugar Virus, and my brother was like, my younger brother, he's just called the band name Sugar Virus, because I didn't care what it was called anymore. I was just so sick of it. I just wanted to play. So we
yeah,
just Sugar Virus, and we're done. We've been Sugar Virus ever since. Just done with it. I don't know. We could have called ourselves Dog Crap. It wouldn't matter. I just wanted to play.
Just want
Play
to
a
play.
show. I was just so sick
yeah.
of it. I already had it in my head what we were going to be called, and it kind of got kicked out from under me. And I was just kind of like, well, damn, okay. So I don't know. So anyway, we've been playing since then. I mean, just different incantations of the band, because of course, we're kids growing up, getting older. Musical tastes are kind of evolving. Everything's kind of evolving. Um, and then you become what you are at the end of the road. But it's not the end of the road, but it's where you are now, in present time.
Yeah.
Because everything's
Right.
going to change further on down the road. My music is always evolving. It's always moving in a different direction. It's getting more refined. Even the older stuff's getting more refined, and we're better than most bands out there, which I can proudly say, because I don't know, a lot of bands don't like playing with it. They're terrified to play with it, because we'll do the opening act because we'll play longer. So we play with a lot of bands, and they say, you guys have the opening slot, which gives us probably about 30, 45 minutes. But if the doors open at 7, we're playing at 7:01. So we'll get a good almost 2 hour set out of an opening show, because we'll go in and we'll just kill it. And we've had a lot of bands just kind of, holy crap. So, and a lot of the stuff that, a lot of our older stuff is online. So you really can't see the evolution of what we have, or what we're playing right now. The way we have everything dropped now, we have styles are different than a few years. Because I mean, we're talking 33 years of movement and you
Yeah.
can't. It's hard to say. You go back and listen to something from 2001, and I listen to it and I go, "Damn, that's garbage." But people love it. They're like, "Oh, that's really cool. We like it." In 2006, 2007, they love it, and I go, "Ugh." But you listen to those songs, we play them now, and it's like, oh, much better. We've refined the sound. It's where it needs to be. So that's what was important for me to kind of come out and spend this year knocking out the new album, which is "Kill the Messenger," and then go back and redo, or not redo, but put Wolf's Breath out on vinyl and make everything uniform and all together in one packet. Like everything is when you hold all three vinyls in your hand, you're going to be like, Zombie Town, Wolf's Breath, and Kill the Messenger are all going to feel like the same band. You're going to look at it and go, okay, it's the same band. I don't have to put Sugar Virus 1, Sugar Virus 2, Sugar Virus 3 like I used to do for EPs and stuff. I used to do all the time for singles and stuff, just so people realize that there were other albums out for our band. Now you'll be able to look at
Yeah.
everything and go, okay, it's the same band. Okay. Um, and the Passion Project was the tributes album, Misfit, Samhain, Danzig, and then I got all that approved through Glenn. He just had a list of people he didn't want on the albums. Basically, he said, I don't want this person playing on it. I don't want this person playing on it. Because my original idea was to have one band member from each of the like one actual Misfit member to play on the Misfits record, one actual Samhain member to play the Samhain record, and one Danzig member to play on the Danzig record. And he was totally cool with it, but then he shot me down on all the selections that I had. He was like,
Oh
no Bobby
man.
Steele, no Eerie Vaughn, no this, and I'm like, God damn. But of course, Erie's on the Samhain stuff because me and him are best friends. So we talked about it. And he said, you can put me on there, and then just don't put my name on there. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. And then it went
Yeah.
to
Yeah. I'm a huge Erie Von. Like he's a huge influence on my playing. Like I play it's a Squire, so it's not exactly a Fender, but I I got this Squire jazz bass, and
oh nice.
yeah, and with the that's an actual aluminum diamond uh deal that I have for the pick guard, but
Oh, cool,
it,
very cool.
it,
It's not a
it
plastic plate.
yeah, I thought when I ordered, I thought, oh, it's just plastic that looks like aluminum, but then when I took it off and put it on there, it's actually aluminum,
Yeah, that's
and
nice.
yeah, I try to get as close to because I love Erie's tone, so I figured the closest way to do that would you gotta have you gotta have a jazz bass if you're gonna try to get Erie's sound.
What's the
So-
shirt you're wearing? There's a wolf on your shirt. What
Oh
shirt is it?
yeah, this is a shirt. There's only one other person that has this shirt. Uh, this is a shirt
Johnny
that I had
Noise. Look
printed up,
at that.
Johnny Noise, and
Back
on
to
the
the Rock on
back,
Brother Man.
if I don't know if y'all can see that, it says
Oh,
Punk
brother
Rock Brother
man,
Man.
Rock on
yeah.
Brother Man.
Yeah, so
He
yeah,
told me the story about that. Good lord.
yeah. There's only one other person that has.
Yeah. Well, that whole Brother Man thing kind of. You back? Okay. Yeah, the whole the whole like Rock on Brother Man thing. I forgot who I got that from. You know, same thing with the punk rock brother man and the Johnny Noise too. It's like I told someone before in a past interview that I have done. I didn't invent, I didn't come up with this. It's like someone gives you a name or has a suggestion and it kind of sticks with you. At the
Yeah.
time, so hey, someone said, "Hey, call yourself Johnny Noise." I'm like, that's a good idea because I was just, prior to that, it was just guitar, John. That was it. I was like, okay, could have been like Bob from the gas station, just Bob. So I had nothing. So someone, I forgot who said this to me, It was early on with the Johnny Noise thing, and then when everything started clicking along, I started the Rock On Brother Man, and that just caught on, and then the Punk Rock Brother Man. So I was okay. I'm just gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with the Punk Rock Brother Man and stick with the Johnny Noise. And I had to add the C, Johnny C Noise. As you see on the bottom here, uh, um, just to personalize it a bit because, and then I changed the spelling. Noize. But that's how that all kind of stuck, so to speak. But and then Anna came up with the Wolfman thing, the shirt idea, and she made us all. Well, Jason, I think, saw that when she made us all the cartoon characters and stuff, and but that's how that kind of all evolved. And then you made shirts, and oh, you went out. There you go.
Sorry, I had to answer a text real quick. So, that's the only drawback to doing this on your phone. You can still get texts and phone calls, and
Your phone. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hear you. So we and then I know Jason and I discussed this too. Is don't change, don't change your name, don't change anything. You know, uh, Even with the Rock On Brother Man and the Punk Rock Brother Man stuff, I caught a little heat about that. He says, "No, just don't change it. Just keep going with it." And it just stuck. It really did. It just kind of stuck. So, but yeah, it's just weird. But it is what it is, I guess. And now I'm branded for life, I guess. So it's all your fault, man. So
yeah,
I'm gonna take it to the grave, man. So it's all good. But
yeah. I started calling myself Henry Horror because, well, you have Jason Virus, he's got Johnny Noise, Erie's got Erie Vaughn. I needed a punk rock name, so I was like, okay,
yeah,
Henry Horror.
all
It rolls off the tongue pretty good. So,
right. Yeah. It's all it's all good.
Did you
But
get teased in school with the Henry Lydick?
not really. A lot of people just didn't know how to pronounce my last name. It's well, this is what I tell people because it's a German last name. It's actually Liedek. So what it is the IE makes a long E sound and the E at the end is silent. So I didn't really get teased too much about it. Uh, Maybe a little bit here and there, but no, not really so much. Yeah, I don't think that's what they really tease. I think they tease me more about my hair than anything
Oh yeah.
else. Yeah. Now, Pete Marshall, I know what he went, when he went through when I read in the Erie's book that him and Glenn would heckle him mercilessly about having the curse of the white man's afro. Yep, I
okay,
know all about that.
yeah,
But I dig it, I dig it. It's just, it's getting, getting teased is part of life. It was more or less, I didn't really go through too much bullying either, but there were bullies out there. But I never got ranked out and beat up. I don't know why, but fortunately, that didn't happen. But the name calling thing, it's just things that everybody goes through it in life.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
kid,
it actually a lot of kids today miss all that, and I think that's where they lose their kind of they don't have an edge to themselves, or they don't. I don't know. They're not. I don't know. I think you're well grounded when you've been bullied, beat up, called some names. You know what I mean? Chased
yeah,
too hard. I think it kind
yeah,
of I don't know makes your life easier later on in life because you've been through all that crap.
right.
oh
I'm
yeah,
I'm on the fire department here, and I work with a lot of young guys, and they're a bunch of pussies, man. They're just so sensitive, and they bitch and moan about the dumbest crap, and they're
Yeah,
all ratting on each other and snitching and just. But they've never been punched in the face.
that's
They've never been nothing's ever happened to them. They've lived a sheltered life their entire damn lives. So they come here and it's like, oh, their high school experiences are friendly. You know, elementary
yeah.
school and high school. That's it's crazy. I don't know. That's the way I
I
look
think,
at it. I might be wrong. I think I am.
no, you know what? I think from my perspective too, because I'm a bit older than both of you, but growing up, uh, especially where I grew up, it was tough. You know what I mean? Everybody was tough. You got skinned up, you got banged up, you got into fights, but in it, you were street savvy. We were kids taking the bus going to New York City. You know what I mean? It's like we would
Yeah,
disappear all day and just come back on the bus. No one ever said, there was no cell phones on just, as long as they kind of knew where you were, we would just go and you took your lumps. But and you're right, uh, everybody's so sheltered, but I think that you need to have building blocks of your life. You know what I mean? To know now later on you had those experiences that might have been negative or positive, but if you don't have some of the negative experiences, if it's all positive, you were coddled the whole way, then
yeah,
you're a cream puff and you're gonna fold. The one little thing's gonna just send you to like, I don't know how to deal with this. Where if you grew up tough on the streets, so to speak, you already had that experience. So, okay, I'm ready for this. Whatever comes my way, I've been through it. I know what's going on, and I've been through some ups and downs and some fights and some of this and some of that. And but it just I think it just gives you more. I'm sure you will agree. It gives you more character. As you get older, you have and you're tough. It's not whether or not you can get into a fight or whatever. It's whether or not you can take the punch or take the abuse or whatever and keep going. Get back up and say, okay, I'm going to blow this off. I'm going to keep going.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I wouldn't have lasted at my job for as long as I've been doing it if I couldn't take name calling and this and that. Because uh, I work armed security for the transit systems, the bus transit system of San Antonio. So I deal with all walks of life, and I get called, every name in the book. But I also realize where they're coming from with that because they're barking at the badge and the uniform. They're not necessarily barking at me,
yeah,
you know.
Right.
So yeah,
It, it,
but
it's just it was different time to grow up. With all this stuff and uh, uh, I had Coke bottle glasses, a chipped tooth. The first thing Kenny Kayaffa said to me was, "Hey kid, who kicked your face in?" So I mean, you just got that. You just got that abuse. It was all this stuff.
yeah,
Everybody picked on you, but then you grow from that. I
yeah.
became, like in my class, I was behind everybody. I was the youngest one out of the bunch. With the whole Moyne Noise thing too. I was the youngest guy out of the group, and so once I kind of came into my own, and it was just that I was just punker or whatever my classmates would call me. But at that point, we had already put out the 45. I had a motorcycle I used to ride to school. So I was always talking about I'm like the cool guy now, where I never was. I was always the guy with the kick me sign on like McFly. I was like, what's going on, man? But it's all good, man. Like I said,
yeah,
nowadays it's a different world. But
oh yeah.
kind of getting back to music stuff. I know Jason. You got a bunch of dates coming out for some shows. If you want, do you want to kind of put those out? And
Yeah. Let's see. We just played last weekend. So let's see. I've got on the books August 23rd at the Capitol Theater in Macon.
yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of bands playing with us. It's actually our pre-release for all our vinyls. That's our pre-release in August. Our actual release is going to be in October. We got a bunch of shows we're booking for October. One's going to be at an outdoor venue, October
Mm.
25th. That's in Macon, my hometown as well. Um, but the big one we're gearing up for now is the August 23rd.
August 23rd. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm gonna I'm gonna try to get down for that. Depending if I need shoulder surgery or not, but that's months down the road. I should be well on my way to recovery and all that good stuff. So
And
that
we might have some shows before then, close by or close to you.
yeah, yeah.
I've just been working overtime here at work and working on music and trying to get all these albums sorted out.
Yeah.
My biggest hurdle was all my licensing stuff for all the tribute stuff, but I actually got I got all that taken care of. I just have to get the digital licensing taken care of, and that's something I'll do probably tomorrow. Wait back and hear from DistroKid or whoever the hell I end up using, because everyone's got to hit Spotify, so it has to be licensed
Spotify.
before it can hit Spotify.
Yeah.
And then I'll get all the digital download cards taken care of. And then we'll start gearing up for the August show. But I also have music videos and a bunch of other things that I'm working on in the next couple weeks. So this has been a long time in the works. So it's not like an overnight thing. I didn't finish the Kill the Messenger album until late February, which is actually up against the clock because everything has to be sent off to the presses for the vinyls and all that way ahead of time. Rule of thumb is if you get your project finished and you send it off to where you want to get it pressed, they're pressing as they clear everything and as they check everything, make sure everything the sound quality, because they have to downgrade your digital copies to make it fit on vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing digital; it's like an analog mastering. And then once they start getting things in production, if a larger band jumps into the mix, let's say I'm mixing a vinyl down through a vinyl company, and for some reason that vinyl company maybe has Slayer come in behind me, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we need 5,000 copies of this printed out or whatever, a million copies, whatever." Then you kind of get pushed to the side, and the major band comes in and they start knocking those orders out, or Lady Gaga or whoever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's
Oh
that's
wow.
what you deal with when you deal with vinyl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a little bit easier with CDs and stuff, but vinyl, because they have, I guess they're contracted for certain things. I don't know how. All I know is that they will push you back to get other, kind of throw other people in front of you because they consider them their,
Well, yeah, they're gonna go.
hundreds of thousands of dollars to get all their shit out. So it makes sense.
Yeah. They're gonna go where the money is. If they got someone that's already selling millions of copies of whatever, and you're
Yeah.
putting your stuff out there, they're gonna get them out the door because that's where the
Yeah,
money's
and they're
even though
doing
you're paying for it,
pre-sales,
though,
and they're doing pre-sales before they even press the vinyls.
before you press stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah, they're already doing so they already know what they're going to make. They already know how much they need to press. How many did you guys get? Do you know how many vinyls were pressed for the Morning Noise stuff?
No, I don't. I have all the sheets. Um, I don't know exactly how many were pressed because what they did is they released so many, so they didn't want to flood it.
Yeah.
And then they released some more, and then they changed some colors, and then so it was a whole. I think it was just a whole marketing thing.
They wanted
then
to see what you guys would do first, and then they were going to kind of go from there.
I think yeah, and then from what I understand, is they just don't want to come out and just flood everything all at once. So they let a few go, and then say final sales or whatever however it was handled, and then they might have added some colors. Then they had this that, and the other. So, but then they had the merchandise, the shirts and stuff like that, and the CDs and then. But I think it was done in kind of spurts. So it was done like that from my understanding. So it wouldn't flood everything all at once and then fade out. So if you release a little and hold back, you keep the momentum going. And people, oh well, I can't get any more. And also, hey, there's another 500 available, whatever it was, and that's how we got that's why I got the white copy, the white album. They only made so many, so I called and said, "Do you have any more?" Because and just happened to get two. Actually, I got
Yeah.
one for myself, and I sent one to Steve. 'Cause he didn't have a copy of the White Album, the white pressing. So that's wrapped up and on my shelf. I'll never touch that. So, but yeah, I think it's just a marketing thing. So when you do your stuff, if you don't oversaturate the market, people will ask, hey, is there still stuff available? Then you say, yeah, I got another 100 copies coming out. So it just keeps it fresh. Other than, hey, I got 10,000 copies of this stuff. What do I do now?
Yeah.
Sending all this stuff. Where send out so much and then stop. Say, okay, we're done with this pressing. We'll let you know if more stuff comes out. Let us sit a little while, and then come back out. Hey, we pressed another 100, and then get rid of those. I think
Well, that's
from
kind
a
of what I
marketing
did.
standpoint.
With the tribute stuff, I only did 100 copies of each
Right,
album. So there's 3 albums, and
right,
every last one of them were spoken for. And people are like, I want, I got collectors call me and say, hey, I want that. And I go, I had no idea people were even going to care. Like, who the hell's going to, you know.
right.
Anyway, so now I'm having to go and go ahead and get a second order, which will probably have different colors to it,
Yeah,
on the ready. So
yeah,
which means actually August is like I said, August is the release day or the pre-release for the vinyls. But I'm actually gonna have to sell this first 100 within the next in May. I'm gonna have to sell these in May.
right.
Once I get my digital downloads, I'll sell them in May. Then I'll go ahead and put my other order in for another 100. So I will have uh, something for August, and I might actually blow through those, where I have to do a third run.
Right.
So I'm kind of feeling it and seeing what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, it'll go. It'll definitely
yeah,
go.
I
Oh
got
yeah, definitely,
Yep.
definitely.
and I already talked to Jerry, and I got to send Jerry his copies. I talked to him on his birthday, and so he wants his copies. I got to send Erie his copies. I got to send John his copies. I got to send Glenn his copies. Um, and then I'm down to like 80, 80 something copies of each.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
So then I have
yeah. Those are gonna go quick
yeah,
though.
and I've already got people who are like, yeah. So I've already have over almost 150 people right off the rip that are like, they need to be available right now. So I go ahead and get them. And I'm like, okay. So I already
Yeah.
told the company that I'm getting the vinyls from. I said, hey, I need to go ahead and get another order. They says, no problem. Just let us know when. We'll have it done. 3 weeks you'll have it. I'm like, okay, cool. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
That's
like
awesome because I'll be 151.
okay, yeah. It's
Definitely.
when I put it out, it'll be first one first serve. I've got somebody trying to figure out how to do on the site. I have to have a tally system set up so when those 100 go, or when those
Hmm.
88 go of each, it'll stop people from hitting buy. That's what I got to try and figure out. Because I don't want people to buy it and realize there's nothing left. It's gone.
Yeah.
Those colors that I had the vinyls printed on, I will never be able to reproduce those colors again. They were telling me, it's like, we won't be able to match that again. I go, fuck, okay. So, excuse me. So yeah, I would love to actually. I should have done 250 of each in those colors, but actually 100 each is going to make it even more rare.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I can live with that. And then of course the next 100 will have a different color scheme as well. And if I keep going, I'll just do them in 100 batches of 100 and just do different color schemes until
Yeah.
people are sick of them, and then see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep on changing it up. Change up your colors. Change. Whatever. When you release it, hey, I got the new batch coming out of this whatever, and just keep on buying them, and you just keep on
Right
putting
now,
them out.
everybody's going ape shit over the Sam Hain one that I did.
Yeah.
The orange on black or the black on orange.
Oh, that's awesome.
Colors. Have you seen the colors yet?
I haven't seen the colors yet, but just hearing about that, just orange on black, just sounds pretty wild.
I I should have. I was going to. I should have brought the stuff to work with me today, but I don't know if you can be able to see this or not. Pull it up. All right. So this is one of the variants in the Sam Hain. If you can see it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I yeah. Yes. Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, that's one of the variants,
That
and I'll show you the other variant.
oh, that's cool. So it's like a little bit more black mixed in with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can, so I can do this. There's the first one, and they're all different. They've all got their own little unique thing going on. And I've got the that's the Misfit one there,
Oh, that's tight.
and
Yeah.
that's the Misfit one there. Yeah, purple, green. It looks like candy,
Yeah.
hard candy.
Yeah.
And that's the Danzig one there with the red
Oh wow.
with and it looks orange on here, but it's actually white. I think that's right, or red, or hell, I don't know. So I got a picture of all three of them together. So this is what they.
That's pretty cool.
That's kind of what they look like.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. There's
Wow.
there. That's the Misfit one. That's the Sam Hain one there. That's the Danzig one. If you put all of them together, all the vinyls together, it forms a large picture.
That's cool. That's
Where
pretty
did you get the frame?
badass.
Where did you get the frame from?
Let's see. And this is what the backs look like. That's the
Oh, cool.
Oh wow.
yeah. That's the Danzig one. Oh shit.
Wow.
Nice. They came out pretty cool.
And this one there.
Oh.
It's got little pieces of songs in there, like get the Bats, and of course the Pumpkins for Halloween. You get the Martians in the background, and
Holy crap.
there's all sorts of little things here and there. You got Elvira running around here somewhere. Not Elvira, Vampire. Excuse me.
Vampire.
Wow.
Somewhere. Got the Crimson Ghost in there. So I couldn't use the logos, the actual Misfit,
Right.
Sam Hain, or Danzig art. I had to kind of jump around it to
Yeah.
prove.
So I've got, speaking of Danzig, I've got another question. So how did you come to collaborate with John Christ to do the Snakes of Christ deal?
That is a long damn story.
I figured there was going to be a story behind that one.
I don't know if I should tell that one or let John tell that one. That was kind of rough. That was a rough couple weeks trying to sort all that out. All right, so we had John was playing. I'm sorry, John wasn't playing. John was asked to come to a convention in Kentucky, and the guy that was putting it together, who's a good friend of mine, wanted to see if John was up to putting a show together, like actually playing music.
Mm-hmm.
John said, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that." And my buddy got in touch with me and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing some stuff with John?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've talked to John on and off, but we'd never met. Well, we had met, but I was a kid when we met. It wasn't like we run into each other all the time or anything. It was a rare thing. We'd run into each other. So we said, hey, let's get you guys together and see if you guys want to do some songs at the convention. And I said, okay. So me and John got to talking. We put us in contact with each other, and then the other members as well, the bass player and another guitar player, and the drummer. And we were talking about what can we do. And John wanted to do some stuff off of Flesh Caffeine. He wanted to do like a Ted Nugent song, a couple Danzig songs, uh, and just some guitar riffs here or there or whatever. And I was like, "Fuck that! let's play Danzig songs, man. Let's like go at it. Let's build some songs and go at it." And I don't think he thought that it was going to work because most people can't. Most people try to sing and sound like Glenn. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
all that shit. I'm like, I don't do that. I just go up there and I use my voice. My voice is close enough. It hits the ranges it need to be hit. So it was. The idea was okay. We'll go out and we'll do this. One show. We'll go out and do one show like this at the convention on a convention type thing, and then I'm talking to Glenn's publicist, who I'm friends with, and some other Glenn's friends, and I brought it up. Hey, I'm doing this, and it got back to Glenn, and then it got back to them, and then they got back to me, and they said, "Man, Glenn said, shut it down, don't do it." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "We're just gonna go over and have some fun, We're not John Christ Next to Christ right now. We're gonna go play some Danzig stuff with John Christ, I'm gonna sing, put it all together." Well, anyway, me and John were talking, and the promoter was on the phone with us. All three of us talking together, and the promoter was like, "Oh, I'm a little nervous about this. Glenn's involved now. He doesn't want y'all doing this." And John was like, "Fuck Glenn Danzig. Let's do this. Let's put the show together, And then he wanted to call it. He wanted to call the band Taller Than Glenn Danzig or something fucking crazy. He wanted to name the band like yeah, he wanted to name the band Taller Than Glenn Danzig. Or something like that. And I told him no. I said, no, we're not doing that. I said, just how about John Christ Next to Christ? He's like, yeah, that works, and we kind of went around. He was like he was pissed off that someone told him he couldn't do something. That's all it was. He's like,
Yeah.
I wrote these songs and all this stuff. It was just kind of it was playful and fun. And then we went and got a banner made, and we went to rehearsal. All of us together for the first time. I think I videotaped. I think I put it online somewhere. And all the guys knew their songs. They knew it was perfect. Like John told us how he wanted everything put together, and having an extra guitar player made it feel like a studio session because there's two guitars on the live stuff on the recordings. So if you play much
Yeah.
one guitar, it doesn't sound right. But if you play it with two guitars, it sounds exactly like
Yeah.
there's a sound. So we had it all mapped out. So when he showed up, I could tell he was kind of like, wasn't really sure about it. And then once I started singing, it was like game on. And it was like, okay, let's do this. And so then we booked the other shows just around the area. I think we drove 9 hours out of the way to do show, from one point and out,
Yeah.
and it was just on. So the first show was kind of where you saw me kind of crouch down. I think that was just kind of testing the waters, and nobody knew
Yeah.
what to expect. And then it was like, wow, this is really working. This is really good. And
Oh,
everybody,
definitely.
all the guys kind of fell in line and realized, oh, this is going to work. And then after that, we had plans to do other stuff, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what he wants to do. He's had a few misses, and I've told him about it. I said, hey, you're going out. he put it to me like, you know how James Brown used to go out. This is just John telling me. He goes, James Brown would go out and he wouldn't have a band, and he would just show up at a place, and they'd have a house band or somebody that they could play, and he would just get on stage and sing or whatever. I'm like, okay, so he's been trying to do that.
Mm,
Doesn't work for this, and you can go and look at all the live stuff he's been doing without us, and it doesn't work like that.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think he, you know, honestly, that lineup, the way you guys have it, that works. And if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. You know what I mean?
that's,
I mean,
that's why
I'm not trying to judge John or anything, but I'm just saying, if it works, it works. And if he wants to go out and do that, by all means. I mean, he's John Christ, but you guys have something like y'all really gel together well. It sounds
oh yeah,
excellent. I
he's a
mean,
good guy to work with too. I mean, that's the other thing too. And we communicate very well with each other. The last show they played, it was just it sucked because I had friends there. He played in Texas. They played that what's that fest they just did in Texas? All the older bands, old metal bands came and played. Um,
I know
Wolf,
what you're talking
Wolf
about, but
and
I
all
don't.
them. I can't remember what the hell it's called.
Yeah,
Anyway, he
I
played that
don't.
fest,
Yeah,
and I had a lot of friends that were there thinking that it was going to be John Christ, Snakes of Christ playing, which is us, and they were there, and I was like, no, it's not. John doing his own thing was John Christ, playing John Christ. So he had a fill-in band that he'd never played with before, and nothing sounded right, especially the vocalist. I don't know who he was. He might be a really good vocalist and whatever band he's in, but it did not work. It was butchered. But what kills me is other people were telling me that, like, oh my god, I went in, they were so excited, and then it was like karaoke night. It was just like this sucks. I was like, ugh. So you're doing that and you're ruining your brand. If you have a brand and you have something that you're good at, stick with it. Don't start experimenting with crap that doesn't work, especially if you've done multiple shows like that. You know,
yeah,
um, yeah,
yeah. I've seen footages of Well, I'm not gonna name any names because I don't want to slam anybody. But let's just say I've seen artists where they go somewhere for the in this case, the person I'm talking about seemed to me like he went down there for a quick payday and just put some guys together. And needless to say, that I don't know if that band had ever played together before or if they had even rehearsed or anything, but it just did not sound right. Like they didn't gel. And if
yeah.
it doesn't gel, it's not jello.
Yeah.
But
Well, and I told him, and he knows I'm not doing this for money or anything. I just enjoy doing this, and I don't want him to
yeah,
sound bad. I want him to sound like he did with us. I want him to sound amazing. Um,
yeah, because that was
at the end of
phenomenal, man.
at the end of the day, it's his decision. It's his
Yeah,
life, So going down this road, if he continues to do this, it's just going to be looked at, and I hate, it sucks, but it's going to be looked at as a joke. So I don't know. We're gonna, get back to doing what we're doing. He might ruin it so much, or just people are like, oh, we're gonna show up and get stuff signed by him. Okay, well, that's what Doyle's doing. Doyle's doing Doyle, and they're going out, and he's doing massive signings for Misfit merchandise and all that stuff. Man, they could do so much better. Like an Alex and them could be knocking the shit out of the park. I don't know why they're not spending more time making their music absolutely amazing. Just
yeah,
take the time, get the writing right, get somebody to come in and sit in and find some people that you trust that'll tell you the truth about songs and stuff, structure and just I don't know. I I like I like Dole. I really do, and I like Alex too. He's a nice guy, but man, that music is just I don't like it. It's not. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't make me go. You know what's so crazy is like that when he was doing the Gorgeous Frankenstein stuff. That stuff has
Yes.
had some really good stuff with the Gorgeous Frankenstein stuff. Um, but he wasn't promoting himself as Doyle because there were a lot of other people involved. I think Argyle Goolsby was doing some of that stuff too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he I actually have the Gorgeous Frankenstein CD that a friend of mine gave me because he didn't like it. And so I took it off his hands. He's like, "Here, you can just have it." And hi, we're just doing the interview. But yeah, believe the original lineup was Doyle, a singer named Landon Blood that sang on the CD. Arthur Goolsby was bass, and Dr. Chud
Yeah, that was
was
right.
it Dr. Chud
Yeah,
was the drummer? I believe so.
yeah, yeah.
And then something happened, and uh, Landon Blood didn't work out, and they had some other guy. Landon Blood did the vocals on the CD, and I think he started the tour or whatever they were going to do, and then they had somebody else, and he didn't work out. And then I think Michael Graves popped in for just a couple of shows, and or maybe it was a show. And then Goolsby took over for vocals, and they were a trio for a while. I know by the time the Gorgeous Frankenstein DVD came out, they were touring around the country as a three-piece, well, four if you count his wife at the time. Uh, and then that happened, and a couple of years later, he's coming out with Alex Story and the group's Doyle. And yeah, I think with a different bass player, and I think Chud was on. Yeah, Chud was on the first of the Abominator album. Chud's credited as being the drummer on that.
Okay.
But actually, I don't. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go back and look. But I think Doyle might have played bass on that Abominator album because when you open it up and it shows like the pictures of the band,
Yeah.
it's just Doyle, a picture of Doyle, a picture of Alex, and a picture of Chud. So I think Doyle might have actually played bass on that. There's not really a bass player credit on that, but Goolsby did play bass on the Gorgeous Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's I think with all those different backgrounds in music coming in and doing a band like Gorgeous Frankenstein, uh, you kind of have different viewpoints and different things going into those songs. Make it, I don't know, give it a little something. Um, but I don't know, I just can't. It's just not. I want to listen to something that sounds new. Um, I don't know. You give me something. It's like this. If if the Misfits were to do an album tomorrow and put it out, I would want to have that feel of the Misfits, but I want it to be something new. I don't want Turn Into a Martian with different lyrics. I don't want you know what I mean? Is I want new stuff. I want stuff that's gonna be like, holy crap, you know, we're
Like
40
the
years
Misfits, but fresh,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
fresh.
something different, right? You say something different.
Yeah, yeah, I would want that too. And Glenn's actually, I heard a radio interview with Glenn saying that he probably wouldn't do a new Misfits album, but probably do a Misfits single and a Danzig single and release that. And I'd be like, even if we got one new Misfits song, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But we'll see if it happens. If it happens, that'd be great. You know.
I don't know. I think that voice. I mean, maybe I'll use reverse psychology and say that his voice isn't that young anymore to pull something like that off, and maybe by me saying that out loud, they'll go in and they'll knock out a new Misfit song.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
you never know. You never know what these guys are
yeah.
going to do. Them getting back together was a surprise. Um,
Oh yeah. I saw them last year in August at the Moody Center. As a matter of fact, that poster up there in the top corner.
oh yeah,
Uh, yeah, that's the poster from the show, and I was up in the nosebleeds, but you know what? I was there, so I never thought I'd see Glenn and Jerry on the stage. I had seen Danzig in 2005, and I think he was doing the Blackest of the Black tour, and Doyle came out and they did a 30-minute
little
Misfit
Misfits.
set,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the last song that they played was "Die Die My Darling," and Doyle came out for that one. So that back then was as close to a Misfits reunion as I thought we were gonna ever get. So when the OG Misfits, I missed them when they played Dallas in 2022. Um, I think I couldn't get the day off or something like that, and my buddy went, and he bought me a shirt and said, "Hey man, what's your shirt size? I'm here at the show." And I'm like, "Yeah, get me a 2XL." And he says, "Okay, got it." And then a couple of months went by, and he showed up on and gave it to me on my birthday. Uh, and when I went to go see them at the Moody Center, he I didn't know if he was going to go or not, but I got him a shirt, so I returned the favor. Yeah,
I was talking to Jerry in 2015 about possibly revamping, going in and maybe getting together and doing some revamping on some Misfit stuff. And he was kind of back and forth, maybe do something, I don't know. And then Erie had mentioned to me that that Jerry had reached out and got some video. I'm sorry, from photos from him recently, like right after we talked. Me and Jerry talked, and then right after that, they announced the Riot Fest Misfit stuff, and I was like, "Holy shit!" So I was like, "Damn, that was never going to happen." Then it just kind of happened.
and then all of a sudden, hell froze over.
Yeah, 2016, it just like it exploded in that direction. It's like, wow, that's pretty amazing. But
That's wild. Yeah. Holy Toledo.
yeah, Jerry didn't think it was going to happen in 2015. So 2015
Wow.
was going to happen. 2016, here we go. Holy shit.
Yeah. But I'm glad it did happen and it kept happening, so it's like that's when we came home. I was telling my old lady, I was like, well, I can scratch that one off the bucket list.
Yeah.
That's
But
nice.
yeah. So, all right. So, we've been covering a lot. I did have one more question, but we've been kind of covering it. Uh, So, how can people find out more about sugar virus? Like, did you have a Facebook or a website, or
You can pretty
can
much
they subscribe?
you can pretty much type in sugar virus in any browser and it'll pop up, or Jason virus any browser to pop up. YouTube, type in sugar virus slash misfits or whatever, or just Jason virus, it'll pop up, or sugar virus, it'll pop up. We've got uh, we have a sugar virus store which is being updated right now because I have the new vinyls coming out. So all that stuff will be online within the next couple of weeks because I've already sold. Like I said, I already sold out all the vinyl that I had
Yeah,
already. So I have to put another pressing out within the next 3 weeks, and then hopefully that'll be sold out before August. So I can do a third pressing. But all that stuff's going to be on the on it's called square.com, but it's through, you go to Spooky Heaven Records. That's my label. So Spooky Heaven Records. You should see the Sugar Virus store. You can purchase that. But like I said, right now everything's being updated for new shirts, CDs, vinyl, you name it, it's going to be on there. So I just kind of need a few weeks to kind of get all that stuff. Like I said, right now I'm working on the digital downloads. Once I get the digital licensing done, then I can kind of move forward with everything else. Everything else be kind of just thrown out there. But yeah, type in Sugar Virus in your browser, it'll pop right up. You should be able to run somewhere. And then Facebook is just Sugar Virus, so easy to find.
Awesome. I was about to say I think I subscribed to everything earlier today when I looked it up. So
Now the
yeah,
YouTube
that
stuff coming down. All the YouTube stuff will come down sometime this month, and everything will go back up under the Spooky Heaven Records Facebook page, YouTube page, and run there.
yeah.
As well. That way, everything's in one spot because I'm actually starting to get other bands on my label as well, and I want everything under one roof. So
Oh, that's
that
awesome.
way you won't have to look around; it'll all be right there, so you'll be able to find it.
Oh yeah, all in one spot.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What about your merch? I mean, you still doing all your own merch, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I
farm
do
that out?
everything myself except for the new vinyls and the new CDs and stuff. All that's being printed, but everything else, stickers, T-shirts, all that stuff, I do on my own. So
Now, the last time we were down, you had your setup, and you were just mass producing shirts.
yeah, I got my T-shirt
know,
press in the
it,
basement, and I press all my own stuff. Now I
yeah,
don't do my posters anymore. I wasn't in posters for a while, but all my posters now go through like Kinko's or a printing place because I can just get them done a lot quicker. It's a lot less hassle, a
yeah,
lot less ink on your hands, a
yeah,
lot less
yeah,
going and cleaning up right after. It's a lot easier. And I'm a Photoshop junkie, so I'm always online re-editing stuff and just quickly just send it to Kinko's, get copies done. So
yeah. Well, I did that. Either actually went to Walmart initially. I had some pictures like the Giant Noise stuff, and just made posters out of it in the beginning, and it was just sending them out. I mean, because people had sent me sleeves of Morning Noise stuff to sign and send back, and so I just don't want to just sign it. It's just the sleeves, whatever. So I did posters.
yeah,
Just 11 by 14, or the big one I got in my room now is just these giant posters. I roll them up and I just send them out because it's relatively inexpensive to have it done. You get a decent shot, it comes out pretty clear. It's not real grainy or anything. I did a test run, and I was for a couple of bucks, and I just sent them. And I got the that Giant Noise rock and roll thing, holding the Warlock guitar. And I said that thing's all over the place. So it's fairly, as opposed to years ago when it was cut and paste and Xerox, and it just looked so bad. Now you can do whatever you want. That's the good thing about you know the stuff you can do now as opposed to 20, 30 years ago. Now you can do, your stuff is real. Your shirts are real. There's a lot going on. It's real intricate, very, real cool stuff where, back when we were doing this stuff, it was like a stick figure and a paste
yeah.
letter thing. And it's, it was so, old school to do anything
Well,
like that.
I'll tell you my secret to that is pretty easy. Is you go to there's a place called Fiverr.com. You guys have heard of that, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
And there's a million starving artists on there right now that can't find work, and that'll do your artwork for T-shirts and all that. They just need a little help with what you want, and then they'll put it together. And then after so many shirts, you have to pay them like a percentage of whatever shirt you make. I usually do 30 shirts of each image that I do, and then I'm done with the run. Then I'll do another image. But they're helping you, and you're helping them. So you're getting, they're getting their artwork out there.
Right.
It's a good way. It's a good way of looking at it.
Then you say,
Yeah.
and you take the images, you send them off, and they send you back like the gels, right? That's what you put on the shirts, those
No.
transfers.
The transfer you just go through any company you want to use for whether you do the screens or if you do the what are they called? The transfers. Yeah, you can just go to their company
Transfer.
that
Yeah.
does me, but the actual artwork, you have to go on Fiverr.com or whoever you want to use and find your artist, and then just tell them what you want, and then just do a run of that artwork. So
Hmm.
if you spend, which is if you think about it, it's nothing, but if you spend $30 to $50 on a piece of art that is yours for 30 to 40 shirts before you have to start paying them royalties on extra shirts being pressed,
Right.
then you just do limited presses. Like this shirt run is only going to be of 30, and that's it. Once that 30 are gone, they're gone. Then you get that artist to do another one, a different image with your band name on it or whatever, your band logo. Then
Yeah.
you do another run of 30 on those shirts. And what I found out is a lot of the people that are getting these shirts are like, I want that one. And I go, well, all I have it in is a medium. And they say, when are you going to get a large? And I go, that's it. You don't understand. That's it. I'm only doing 30 of these shirts. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm only doing
Yeah.
30 of these, 30 of these, 30 of these. And it makes them think about, well, damn, I really want that one. Or,
Yeah.
and instead of, you know what, I'll buy this shirt next time y'all come through. Or I'll go online and I'll buy, that's not happening. This is the only time you're going to
Yeah.
get this shirt in your size because once it's gone, it's gone.
It's
And then
gone.
there'll be
Yeah.
another. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's eye opening. That's pushing a lot of people to kind of grab our stuff. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Cause, uh, I lucked out, and I actually had somebody contact me saying, hey man, I don't have any 3XLs, but I got a hold of one of my distributors that has one. They're gonna send it to me, and I'll send it to you with a little bit extra just for your patience. And it really paid off, and I was really appreciative of it when it came. So that was pretty cool that they not only did that, but they went out of their way to let me know, hey man, it's coming. It's just that this is what's going on. So the fact that they took the time to tell me about that, I really really appreciated it.
Yeah.
But it also, it's also making me think because I know of other groups that do that too. They'll send me emails and be like, "Hey, we're only having 25 prints of this shirt made up, so once the 25 prints are gone, that's it.
that's
It's
it.
a limited run,
Yeah.
and makes me, of course, it makes me get it that much quicker.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
And
yeah.
it's not we're trying to do anything over on anybody. It's just that this is. I mean, you got to look at all the inventory people have of certain things. Um, Doing small runs is just beneficial because you're in a select group. You're supporting this band, and you have this thing that nobody else has. It's yours. So you're walking around with
yeah,
whether it's vinyl or a T-shirt or whatever. When somebody looks at you and says, "Hey, man, where can I get that?" You can say, "You can't. That's it.
yeah,
I know you like it. Take a photo. That's all you get. You know what I mean? That's all it is."
yeah. My brother-in-law actually talked me and my mother into investing in a t-shirt press machine, but it can also press, I think, caps and coffee mugs, but
Oh,
you
very
have to
cool.
get certain prints for that. So I'll start doing some Inertia Channel coffee mugs, and I know you guys are gonna get some.
Oh yeah.
So, but the shirts I do pretty much made to order, but I do them very differently. Um, I sent one to John that was a big print front and back, and then I had one made up for myself. But then a buddy of mine really, really wanted one, so I sent one to him. And then I had some that were the Inertia Channel logo, like a badge up here, and then a big back print. I had a couple of those,
Oh,
but
cool.
they're pretty much made to order. I've got one that's I got well, actually, he's if if I had to say that he was a number one fan, would be an understatement. I mean, this guy loves our channel, and he's usually the first one to comment. He's usually the first one. He's right there on everything. So, but he's a pretty big guy, and he's like, "Hey, man, I want a shirt, but I don't know if you can get one in my size." And I'm thinking, "Oh, a 3XL, I can get that easy." And he's like,
What shirt size are you? Are you a 3XL?
well, I fit better into a 3XL, but I can wear a 2XL, but I fit more comfortably in a 3XL.
If I
But
think I
this,
think I have a one John Christ Snakes of Christ 3XL left. If I do, I'll send it to you.
oh man, that'd be great.
Make sure you
Thank you, man.
send me your address to John or however we want to
Oh
do
yeah, definitely. I'll
it. And
definitely do that.
I'll set that up. I'll send
Oh,
you
sure, man.
some
Thanks.
other stuff too.
Yeah, this cat though, he told me, "Hey, man, I'm a 5XL,"
Oh, Christ,
and I said, "Don't worry about it, bro.
man!
I'll get a 5XL," and I said, "I'll tell you what, I'll make it. I'll even make the print different. It'll be a shirt that it'll be a print that just you have. Nobody else will have that print." And
Just wearing a damn
so,
catamaran sail. Holy shit!
I actually got the shirt in the other day. I just need to order the prints for it now, and that's the thing because you order the prints and you gotta wait for those to come in, and then this and that. But I mean, it saves a lot of money if you can make that type of investment in a press. You're actually kind of saving some money there rather than
Yeah.
you know. I don't know. I'm just big into DIY.
Yeah.
I'm the
Well,
same way.
we used with Crimson Carry, we used, I think it's called Teesprings, and it's okay. The only uh, caveat to that is, there's a minimum price. So, we lowered it down as far as we could. And as we were doing low, I just
Guys,
wanted to get version.
that's my call right there. I gotta go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We'll
thanks
talk
for
to
being
you, man.
on the show, Jason, man. We'll catch up.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I got to get out of here. I'll holler at y'all later. I really appreciate being on here.
All
All
right.
right. We'll talk to you
All
soon.
right,
Give me a
man.
call later.
Thanks, man.
All right. Be safe.
All right. Be safe, man.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
For those of you who haven't figured out, Jason is he's on the fire department. So I guess that's
Yeah.
why
So he had to
you gotta
really
go.
go.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the stones. I saw his eyes light up like, oh, here we go. You gotta go.
Yeah. I saw that too. I was like,
So
uh-oh.
yeah, he actually he stays at the firehouse and but so anyway, I thought that was a really good show. A lot of information.
Tons of information
Tons of
stuff.
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 He's
Stuff
been
he was talking about before I even asked, before I was even gonna ask. So
yeah
we got a lot of information. You know, so you guys, hear yourselves, about how to get sugar virus and vinyl and shirts and stickers and merch and just to check out the band. So that's all. It's all good. It's all
yeah
good.
he's got stuff all over the place and and before his little tones had before the fire alarm went off wherever he's got to go to, um, you know I have used I don't know you make your own shirts and stuff and I have used Teesprings and all you have to do is send them an image and you can put the image anywhere. You design the image and then you get a blank shirt, a picture, and you kind of crop it and whatever. Now it comes out pretty good. Like like I said, the only downside is the pricing. They won't, they're going to charge at a minimum. They'll have a minimum charge for it. Where if you make
Yeah.
your own shirts, you want to mail them out for $5, $10 or whatever, you can do that. Where they have a minimum to cover their costs, you know, because I just wanted to get stuff in people's hands, you know,
Yeah.
the shirts, the coffee mugs, the stuff, whatever, pendants. You know, they print everything, which is great because it's a one-stop shop. But
Oh yeah.
it's gonna, you know, you can't just name your price rock bottom because we didn't make any money on it at all. I mean, the account, I think the account's still open on the Crimson Carry stuff, and there's only a couple of dollars. I really just wanted to have let people have access to the brand, to the Crimson Carry label, and our photos and the cartoon stuff we did, and whatever it is. So, I mean, it's good if you don't have like me. I don't have a press. So if I got one of the artists to do something, like Johnny Noise thing, and did a whole, I would probably the easiest way for me to get stuff out there would to use something like Teesprings and just, you know, let them kind of set the minimum price on it. But then I don't have to do anything. They mail it. It's kind of made to order, so it's a bit easier to do. But I might do that. Like you were saying, you go to that site and get an artist to do something. You know,
Oh, that'd be wild.
let them do it. You know, and we can do this as well if people really want, you know, merch too. Is, you know, take your inertia, the logo, you know, run it through something like that. This way they have access to it, and you can still do your own thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, how can I get a shirt then? Well, if you go on this site, they have shirts there as well, and
Oh yeah.
you can have. It's unlimited. It's limitless what you can do. You can just, you know, as long as the image is good, you put it and you can put it anywhere you want.
Oh yeah.
So we might have to
Yeah.
look at that down the road.
I'm pretty big on front and back print, you know, because like to me it's just you know the economy these days, you know, I want to give people what they're pay, you know, what they pay for, you know, and I think a shirt with front and back print that's worth it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll get all that figured out. But let us know, guys. You know, if you want us to go that route, and you know, we can get some merch out there, and we'll keep it as user friendly, as cheap as we can get by. You know, for everybody to get a hold of stuff without having to really, you know, come out of pocket too much.
Yeah.
It really depends on how you format it and stuff. But yeah, I think that's something we'll have to get some feedback on. You know, whether or not we want to take it on ourselves and print up some stuff, or use somebody like you know, an outside vendor and just see what their bare minimum price is. And you might not make like on our end of the deal, there'd be pennies on the shirt, but it would give everybody else access to have stuff. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of the idea behind it. That was my thought process on it. You know,
Oh
is
yeah.
kind of do it that way. But yeah, it was great. I thought we had a great show with Jason. Guys, we have some other folks coming up. Just to kind of give you a quick idea, I talked to Henry about some people we have. Christian Youngblood from the Casket Kids. We'll let you know when we can get him. I'm hoping next Sunday. So I think
That'd be awesome.
he said they had to postpone the rehearsals. It might be available next Sunday. He don't live that far from here, so I might be able to get him here in my studio. So we'll have both of us in the studio. That would be kind of cool. You know, I got the double
Oh,
mic set up. You know, so we won't be talking over each other. But
that would be awesome.
that'd be kind of cool if I can get him up here. Cause he moved out this way from the Huntsville area. Uh, then I'm looking at on my end of it. I know you had some folks too that want to come on the show. Um,
Oh yeah.
looking at I just spoke to my friend D Ray out in Colorado, and he wants to come on, and he's currently playing with a band called the Tanquerays. So he's definitely down. He and I we served in the military together. Now he's a music teacher, and then he also plays in the band. So he's a cool cat. Um, and then Juliet from Death of Jules, local band out of Huntsville, uh, real talented artist. We were fortunate enough to do some stuff with her on stage at some of the clubs out in Huntsville. That you had mentioned you had some people as well out of Texas that wanted to come on, but that's just
Oh yeah.
from my end of the deal who we're looking to book. Well, I think we're going to try to do at least one artist per week, so it gives us time to get our stuff together and not over flood the whole thing. So once a week we'll have someone else come on, and it gives us,
Yeah, I was thinking that too. At least at least once a week. Yeah, I've got some local musicians that want to be on, and I've got people that I've had on before want to come back, and they're down. So we just gotta situate everybody. And if we do it we do it once per week. That gives us a week to set up for
right.
the next one. So it should flow pretty smooth.
Yeah, yeah. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in. It was fun talking to Jason Virus. Really, really good guy. I've got a great rapport with him. Just one of those guys who'll do anything for you, really. And
Oh yeah,
talented,
he
talented guy. So
he was great as a guest, and I
yeah,
got more out of this interview than I actually thought I was going to get out. So yeah, it was great having him on the show, and love to have him back soon, and maybe more towards August, or you know I might actually get me and Rosie by August, and maybe fly out to that one.
well, let me know. We'll
Yeah,
coordinate. If you do that, I'm gonna try to be there for sure. So we'll get it all figured out.
yeah,
It's only a
yeah. It'll
4 hour drive for me, 4 or 5 hour drive. So
Yeah, yeah. Me and Rosie have been talking about taking a trip, and I said, well, if we do, it's got to be to like a show, and we've got we could check the fares, and we can just fly out there and catch the show, and so we might just do that, but we'll find out a little bit more closer,
yeah,
to
yeah,
to that.
it'll be cool.
But
And you're not that
yeah,
far. You're not that far from like Savannah. From there too, if you guys wanted to venture that way, you're down the highway a little bit, so you could do the show, run down to Savannah, whatever it is, make a whole kind of vacation out of it, I guess. But
oh, definitely,
you know,
definitely,
so there's a lot of stuff, but that would be awesome, dude.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll pack my stuff now. Let's go. So
yeah,
be a cool thing. But again, thanks Henry for co-hosting, allow me to co-host actually, and
yeah.
thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed our conversation with Jason Virus, and we got a lot more content to come. This is just the beginning. We got some a lot of people lined up, dropping a lot of phone calls on both sides. I think it's gonna just get better and better, and we're hoping to have full bands on too. So we'll see how that goes. And you had mentioned that too. We're gonna
Oh yeah.
a whole
Well,
band.
thank you, John, and thanks for co-hosting with me, and thanks for putting this together. And guys, we will see you in the next video.
See you soon. Thanks, Henry.
Thanks, John.
See you, man.
See ya.